This morning, I'd like to hear from you something to start with. How have you been? How is your practice? If it's happening, I hope so. If it's happening on the cushion or if it's happening every moment or any moment you remember. Or anything else you want to share. Or if you have any question, space is open. Yeah, Mickey.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Shastra.
Good morning.
Good morning. I just want to share something. How going back to one of our sessions helped me tremendously this past 2 weeks since I'm back from Italy. Um, uh, I'm feeling some dark forces around me at the moment, and it started on the voyage back from Italy, because just to give a little bit of detail, when I was at the retreat, I didn't look at my phone, and some things with regard to the COVID restrictions changed. So when I took the bus in Mestre, everything was fine. The guy asked me if I had the COVID test, and I said yes, because I did it before I went. And then when we arrived in Milan, apparently I didn't have the right test, but because there was someone who wanted to get onto the bus. And oh yes, I asked the conductor in Mestre whether he wants to see the test, and he said no, it's fine, it's for the French police. And so in Milan, someone wanted to get on a French person, and he wasn't allowed because he didn't have the test. We were supposed to do it in Italy. I saw that I got some emails when I was at the retreat. I didn't look at them, so I wasn't aware.
Yeah.
And the same happened in Torino. And you know what? I felt glad that I didn't look at my phone. And I was okay. I felt a lot of compassion for the people who can't get onto the bus.
Right.
But in any case, so yeah, that was, I don't know, I was so uh, disconnected from what was happening outside of me. I felt okay. I felt safe, and I kept on breathing. In fact, I closed my eyes. There were a lot of shouting because they even called the police, and one speaks French and the other speaks Italian, and they couldn't understand each other.
Right.
And at one point, I didn't hear the shouting anymore. It was amazing. And and when I came back, the second day I was here, my cat disappeared.
Uh-oh.
And I found him, but he ignores me. He's been away for a week now. I can't catch him. And that also, that session that we had on vibration, on frequencies, it just helped me so much to keep my frequencies high. So I've been meditating a lot to 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 stay in my zone,
Yes.
concentrating on my heart space, concentrating on breathing in my hara. And I feel so strong. I don't feel, how can I say, it didn't affect me so much, which normally these things would affect me tremendously and I would be sad and all. But I feel a lot of love within me. I feel connected, and I'm in a good space inside. These things are outside of me. So
Yeah.
I'm obviously doing all I can to get my cat back. I even called the animal whisperer um, to see if she can talk to him and ask him why he doesn't want to come back. So, but just thank you so much. These sessions are so valuable, And also, I'm glad that I the message came to me to go back to that session. Uh, I could have not, I could have ignored it and worried and all of that, but I had this vision, go back to that session, and I did. I listened to it several times, and it's amazing. Thank you so, so very much for this.
Mm.
It's really, it's, it's, it's life changing. Our work. I
Nice, nice.
just wanted to share that.
Thank you for sharing this. Makes me feel like I want to go look at that session again.
Yes, you have to. I made note. You remind me of certain things that the two quotes that you gave as well. I didn't write them down at the time, but now I wrote them down and I'm looking at them every day, and it's really it's
What's the title of that session so that everybody knows what we're talking about?
it's uh, raising your frequency, something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a moment, I'll tell you. I've written it down. I jotted down all the titles, so that's 19. How to move to higher frequencies.
How to move to higher frequencies. Okay.
Yeah. It helps. I made a list of all our sessions, with the titles.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And I did this now because I thought this is useful. So, thank
That's
the universe for reminding me about this session. It saved my life.
that might come handy. It's very well organized, Mickey. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, in that session we were talking about pretty much what Mickey described, no? How to deal with the world that is going a little berserk, to say the least. Yeah. There is a lot of darkness pushing through. There's a lot of power that be that they've always been there, yeah. But now the difference is they're coming in the open. And so this strong intention to keep man enslaved in ignorance and above all in fear, because when man is ignorant can be controlled, and when a man is in fear, it can be controlled even better. So that's a good combination. So don't allow him to become aware of his divine matrix, of his divine nature. Yeah, that's what religions have been doing all along, for example. Yeah. Yeah, there is a God somewhere up in the clouds. Yeah. But everybody, every part of the world has their own God, as if as if there can be many gods for different people, right? I mean, it's so childish if you look at the whole thing. It's like, well, what the heck? How can people get lost in such a nonsense? And yet, they have been, for centuries and centuries, perpetrated this really childish, stupid concept about life and the universe and gods. So there is a God up there, but there's nothing to do with you. You are a sinner, right? And furthermore, you cannot connect directly with that God. So you have to come through us. So let's make it clear. You don't have direct access to God, but if you come through us, be that the church or the rabbis or the pandit or whoever is in charge, you come through us and we are the medium between you and God. So we're very important. And we tell you what to do. And we tell you who you are. I mean, it's so obvious, the game, but a lot of people have been entrapped in that, in those schemes, in those lies for centuries and centuries, for hundreds and hundreds of generations. Yeah. So you're born a sinner. Yeah, there is a God, and it's very angry God, because if you don't behave rightly, he will punish you. Yeah, it will send it. It will strike you with lightning from the sky. And it's just so childish, right? But the subconscious, the collective subconscious, got embedded with this idea that I am small, I'm not good enough, I'm a sinner, and there is something much bigger that I have to be aware of, because it would punish me if I don't do the right thing. But if I do the right thing, I will have a seat in heaven. And then all this nonsense, Anyway, this has been done by all religions, has been supported by all politics as well. Politics and politicians and priests have always been sleeping in the same bed because they support each other's interest. Yeah. And there's always been an elite of people that have been running the show, let's say, from above, from the top of the pyramid. And now this has been very, very obvious, like, how are we gonna enforce less freedom, more ignorance? Yeah, more ignorance, because maybe not us, but most people, they still watch TV, and they believe whatever they tell them in the news and in this stupid, silly programs on TV, right? And so all the medias are pretty much, I don't know, I think most countries are really transmitting the same news. Not because what they're transmitting is true and that's the only truth, and that's why everybody transmits the same news, but because there has been a process of acquiring all the media's channel outlets of the world, yeah, in the last, particularly in the last 50 years, it started by big multinational corporations, by big financial groups. So they bought all the newspapers, all the magazines, all the radios, all the TV stations. Particularly, we're talking about mainstream, of course. There's still a little bit of independent news. But all this news, if you look, you go in depth, yeah, it's like a big tree, right? And you go, but you follow from the small top branches and you follow down to the roots. There are only 6 groups that own all the medias of the world. 6 groups. It's nothing. Yeah, even though there are thousands of radios and hundreds of newspaper and magazines and hundreds of TV stations. They are all owned by 6 groups. So it doesn't take much to coordinate and have everyone saying the same thing on a world scale, because that's what is happening. So these guys are running a show whenever they want, whatever the show is needed. And the news are unified, everything is transmitted in one single direction. And this keeps man in ignorance, because if you want to really know what's going on, you have to dig somewhere else, and you have to dig deep, because the surface, it's all the same. So we're witnessing a strong control of what we call information. That keeps man in a state of absolute, not only ignorance, but deceit. Because what they're telling you is not what is really happening. So in the last 30, 40 years, we've seen it in different ways. When it's time to create a war, for whatever political and financial reason, a war is created. And sure enough, they're able to get the public opinion on their side by depicting whoever is running that country as a terrible dictator that is killing their own people, and they have weapons of mass destruction or whatever it is. They're going to package it so well that everybody's going to cheer up when they go into war and go to get that country, and they go like, yeah, go in, yes. The truth is quite different. Yeah. Not that dictators do not exist, they do exist. Yeah, but the proof usually that they've been fabricated are not the reason why they're going to take their country. They're going to take it for other reasons, political and financial. Then, there's been a period of terrorists, the black bad guy that is out there to kill you. Yes, there have been terrorists, but they're not independent groups that suddenly, they have weapons of all kinds, and they have a lot of power and a lot of people behind, and they're super organized and can even fly, planes that it takes 5 years to learn how to fly them. Suddenly these guys are like sitting there, they go from eating chapatis and drinking chai to fly an airline jet. I mean, there is an organization behind, these people have been trained by our own who is behind the government. So the world is, we don't know why, they must have died of COVID, all of them, because all you hear is the virus. Now they replaced the bad guys, terrorists, with a bad virus. Same story. How do we create fear so that we can keep people in control? And then, of course, there's the good guys that are running the show, and they say, we'll protect you. We'll protect you from the terrorists. Don't worry. We'll protect you from the virus now. Don't worry. It's really a killer virus. It's going to kill the whole world. We have to do something. We have to vaccinate everybody, right? Let us protect you. And so people bow down and say, oh, thank God, yes, do something, whatever, but save my life from the terrorists or now from the virus. Same scheme, you know, same deceit. And yet, the majority of the population is not aware of this or what is happening. It takes a little bit of awareness. It takes intelligence to see through the veil of deceit. It takes not being lazy and start digging a little deeper, search for where the informations are not controlled or censored. Yeah. So all this creates a very heavy collective subconscious energy that we perceived, even if we try to, I mean, we don't necessarily believe what they're telling us, we still perceive it, yeah, because there is a heaviness, there is a control that is happening. There is a large chunk of the population that is living in fear and that is very frustrated and depressed, you know. Right now, there is like a high rate of suicides happening all over the world, for example. So we can feel fortunate that we're here, that we are like removing ourselves from that collective subconscious as much as we can. It's very important that you keep yourself informed about what is happening and why it's happening from the right sources. I mean, from sources that are not controlled, let's say. Those are the right sources. And we keep doing our work, which is the work with ourselves, of course. But inner and outer are not completely separate. So when we speak about the inner world, we cannot separate it completely from the outer world because we live in that, right? So we cannot do like the ostrich that would put their head under the sand and say, okay, I don't see what's happening out there, I don't care. Well, it's not like that, because the more awareness expands, the more it includes also what is happening around you. But how much you get affected by what's happening around you is also dependent on how much you identified with that world and how much you do your homework looking for what is really happening, wait a second, behind the curtain of deceit. What is really happening? Because that knowledge will bring a certain kind of freedom. Same like in the inner world, it's the same thing. Being aware of what is happening, why we talk about watchfulness and witnessing, what does it mean? It means we observe exactly what is happening without any judgment. That means we're able to see what is running through this system, you know, what is running through my mind, what kind of thoughts, where do they come from? How are my emotions? Why are these emotions coming up? What is affecting the way I feel in this moment? Why do I have this mood? Where does it come from? You know, there's a constant observation of the inner landscape that brings an understanding, right? It brings a knowing slowly about, oh yeah, I know myself a little bit more every day as I keep going on with my practice. So I bring the light of understanding, yeah, and clarity to the inner world. And what does that do? It makes me free from my identification from example, from the mind and from all the things that are happening inside. Not that they're not happening, they're still happening, but I'm not hooked and identified with them. So they happen, but they don't affect my life as much, less and less. So I am more and more free, right? Well, the same is happening with the outer world. You cannot pretend that it's not existing. You have to watch, not only watch, but understand, why is this happening and what is behind the veils of deceit. It's the same process. So observing and understanding, that will free you from the bondage of the outer world, of the outer world that is now creating more and more bondage, or is trying to. Yeah. So presence and understanding both ways have to happen. Obviously, my priority, I hope yours too, is the inner. Yeah, because it's really the reality, let's say, with a capital R. Everything else is a relative reality. It's relative because, yeah, it's happening, but it's mainly man-created. Yeah, it's a man-created reality, what people take for the real reality, you know. So that is ignorance. And then switching on a TV and believing that what you see is a reality, it's even more ignorance. So it's bondage, right? So rising your frequencies, what does it mean? It means to also bring understanding to the inner and to the outer. So that you can disidentify, take not one, but 5 steps back right now from what you're witnessing. And have enough emotional detachment and intellectual, if you want, also understanding. Yeah, your intelligence is opening. It's not like closed in a little TV screen. It's like wide open, perceiving exactly what is. It's a good moment, what is happening. I feel it as clearly as a very positive thing in the midst of the darkness. You know why? Because it's forcing people, it's like an acceleration. It's like a force that comes from behind and pushes you, like in whatever direction you're going, you go in that direction faster because you're pushed by this acceleration. So because you cannot pretend that nothing is happening, you have to take a position inside of you. It's like, okay, but wait a second. This is what they propose as the truth. What is my truth, for example, right? So there is a crystallization of your own truth, or at least there is an acceleration of your unfolding in whatever direction you feel it's your own direction. Now, obviously, if somebody turns on the TV and believes what they tell them, that's going to be their direction, isn't it? So they are going to accelerate in that direction. It means you're going to accelerate into darkness. Many people are doing that. Many people are doing that. But the other way is also true. If you are aware enough to see what is happening, your own truth, which is very different, is gonna start screaming to you to be heard more and more. You know, it's happening. There is a strong crystallization of your own truth in this moment, more than usual, because that's what is needed. That's what this moment is requiring. It's requiring your whole truth, not just a little part, like, yeah, maybe this, I feel this, but I'm not sure. No, you have to be very clear. Yeah. So it's a great moment that brings wonderful possibilities of awakening and crystallization of truth, of your own truth. It's a wonderful time, even though, you might perceive sadness. I do sometimes. Seeing the people that are accelerating into darkness, I feel sad for them. I feel sadness in my heart. But I also understand, okay, obviously this is what needs to happen. And really, I cannot change it. The only thing I can do is my own work. And accelerating in whatever direction is the light for me, That's really my work. Doesn't mean I don't feel anything. Of course, I feel for the world too. But there is also more and more a separation between my world and the world. It's almost as if I start living in a different planet with different people. There's a certain group of people that are in my same planet and a large group of people that live on another planet. That's what it feels like. But it's okay. I'm okay with that. I understand that what needs to happen now. Still, we can carry compassion for everything that is happening. We might feel sadness sometimes, but I don't get pulled into that. There's no way I can get pulled into that in any way. So this will help you maintain a certain distance, a clarity of direction, and keep your frequencies higher, much higher, because this is also happening. Yeah. In my planet, the frequencies are rising, and the other planet are lowering more and more. Well, sad but true. That's what's happening. And obviously, this is what needs to happen. I don't know why, but this is what needs to happen. I trust existence that is bringing us what we need. For what we need, for what? Of course, for the only thing that existence care for, which is the unfolding of consciousness. So cheer up. don't let yourself be pulled into the mud, and keep your heart open and alive, and keep your mind bright and open. Keep yourself informed and keep practicing. And don't forget, that is obviously the most important thing, is take care of your own practice, which, as we said, it goes in both directions. Yeah. It's all relative, This planet one day will disappear. With everything on it. It might take a while. Or man might disappear pretty soon. The planet will stay still for a few million years, but maybe humans as they are bound to. I mean, we are parasites for the planet in this moment. We have been parasites for a few hundred years. We don't know. But don't forget that we're part of an immense, infinite universe. And so what needs to happen will happen. And what all we need to do is wake up as soon as we can, as much as we can. That's the only thing that is in our hands. Nobody is responsible about what's happening in your life except you. Yeah, we cannot put the responsibility of the people that are running the show in the world. If we are enslaved, it's our responsibility. Nobody can make you a slave if you don't want to. You are a divine, free being that happens to be in a human body on planet Earth for a good reason. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. But we were born free, and we are free all the way. What will make you unfree is ignorance. So we are responsible. If we want to remain ignorant, we remain ignorant, we'll be enslaved. But personally, there's nothing or nobody that can enslave me, this person here. I feel it clearly, very crystal clear, and the same with you. So we are responsible for what's happening in our lives, nobody else. That's freedom. Yeah. My master Osho used to say, freedom comes with responsibility. And the more you're willing to take responsibility for your life, the freer you will be. But they come together. Yeah, there is a price to pay for freedom. And the price is that I am responsible for my own life, nobody else and nothing else. I'm responsible for how I perceive anything. I'm responsible for what I decide to put inside of me and what I say, no, this is, it doesn't belong to me, take it out, or don't even let it in. I'm responsible for my own mental hygiene. Yeah, what do I put in this mind? Do I turn on the TV and put that garbage or not? I'm responsible for if I want to be angry and upset, live a life frustrated, or do I want to live a life of joy, peace, clarity, intelligence, compassion, or frustrated, angry, suicidal, like many people are, poor guys, enslaved, and ignorance. The choice is mine. So we're free. That's the good news. You are free. So how do you want to play your life? It's like that, no? It's a beautiful game, and you can decide the rules, and you can decide how you want to play it and what direction to go. Who are going to be your mates, your teammates, right? What team do you want to play with? I mean, eventually it's a solo journey. You know that. But in the meanwhile, we can choose to share the journey with some friends. And so we can choose our friends. Even that is becoming more and more clear now, no? More and more polarized. I lost maybe 100 of friends in the last year. But it's okay. I don't mind at all. Actually, I feel lighter than before. And the few have become more close friends, but that there is a deeper love with those fewer people. It's uplifting to be with them. It's nourishing. It's beautiful. We have a great time when we're together. Yeah. So you choose your teammates too. And don't worry about letting go of the ones that are not vibrating at your frequency anymore. It's okay. You know, we all move at different speed and in different directions. So we're bound to lose certain people and acquire new ones. Or not. Maybe we're bound to be alone for a while. That's also okay. In deep aloneness, a lot of understanding usually comes. Sometimes being alone for a period of time is like a purifying process you need to go through. Allow yourself to be alone. It also takes courage, no? Sometimes. But it can be very purifying and very deepening process where you mature much faster. Yeah. And if you have friends and people around you and you live with them, you know, it might deepen that connection in this moment. It might become deeper. Or it might break. It might break apart because there's too much difference suddenly. You know, oh, whoa, I slowed down and you accelerated, or vice versa. And, you know, I'm going in this direction, you're going in that direction. Whoops. Then it takes courage to recognize that too. Okay, we don't vibrate at the same frequency anymore. What is the point of being together? We're not helping each other. We're not supporting each other. It's okay. Then let go. It's okay to let go too. Basically, don't be afraid of anything. It's all good. Let things unfold the way they're unfolding in a natural way, and usually there's nothing to be afraid of. And the more your awareness expands, the less you can go wrong. I mean, there's no way there's no way that you can go in the wrong direction anymore. That is your light. That is your guide. That is your own awareness. That's what it is. Oh, it's a driver of your bus. Your awareness is it's let your awareness sit on the driver's seat and trust the driver so you can relax in the back. And then let the world go by. You know, you look from the windows and say, hello world. Oh yeah, I can see you, but I'm on my bus. I'm going in a different direction and I have a good driver. You know, it's gonna take me home. I know that. Yeah. So I'm happy to have you as the traveler mate on the bus for a little while. It's lovely to do part of the journey together until we'll say goodbye again. Or maybe not, who knows? I don't know. Okay, enough of the Shastra now. Anything to share about this or any question, or you want to just move into a silent space? Divyam is going, yeah, silent space, like that. Shut up. Enough. Why don't you just shut up for a moment, Shastra?
No.
Just kidding. Just pulling your legs, Divyam. Don't worry. I'm just joking with you. I know you love to be here. Yeah. Okay, let's let all this sink in into silence. How about that? Let's sit together for a little bit, and then maybe we can share more if there is the need to. Find a good, comfortable position for yourself. Comfortable and yet awake and present. Yeah. When you're ready, you can close your eyes. And bringing all this attention inwards now. Starting from the perception of your body. How does your body feel in this moment, in this place? Yeah, right where you're sitting, that place. Here and now, how do I feel? It'd be nice to relax the body a little more if I can. Check if that is possible. Bringing attention to any holding and release it. And allowing yourself through that relaxation to sink more into that place. Literally, as if you're sinking more in your cushion or on your chair or on the floor. Allowing yourself to feel the pull of the earth on the body. Allowing all parts of the body to feel that pull and allowing that. Simply by relaxing them. Make sure your belly is relaxed too. Let your belly relax and be pulled by the earth. One time my master told me, grounding means you allow the gravitational force to flood your hara, your center in your belly. So let that energy force flood your belly simply by relaxing your belly and connect it to earth energy. Feel that. That is grounding. You might perceive a a point in your belly about 3 inches below the navel. Imagine you have a little golf ball there that is a little more dense. You might feel a little density there. Or if your breathing is relaxed, you can also watch as your belly expands when you breathe in. And the deeper place that movement of the in-breath will reach, it's usually that same spot. When the breathing is relaxed, the deeper place the in-breath reaches is your Hara center. It's your belly center. It's your gravitational center. So if your breathing is already relaxed, you can watch that and feel what is the deepest place as I relax my belly that the breath can move in my belly. That is it. That is your gravitational center, your Dantian or Hara. The center of your life force. Connect that to the earth energy. Feel that spot also being pulled by the earth. And that will bring a very beautiful sense of centering and grounding of will make you solid, more stable, more strong, more rooted. It will make you like a unmovable mountain, that kind of a feeling. When your belly center is connected to earth energy, you feel like a city mountain. Feel that. Or imagine that if you can't feel it. The more grounded and rooted you are, the more easy it is to be unmovable. The easier it is to keep your center even though outer forces are trying to move you. You become unmovable. That's a good way to remain centered even though the outer world is spinning and accelerating in different directions. You can go back to this center any moment you need to gain stability and strength. Letting your breathing nourish your belly at every in-breath. And relaxing your belly at every out-breath. Once I am well rooted and grounded in myself, then it's easy to just observe and witness what is arising in my inner space. My awareness is present, available to witness anything that arises. I have the strength to allow anything to arise that wants to be experienced and eventually let go of again. Going back to the empty space again and again. Until another experience arises, wants to be seen, wants to be experienced. Like clouds crossing the empty blue sky and disappearing again. At times, you might also perceive the center in your belly as a still point. You might perceive a strong, solid, almost stillness in your belly center. So you might perceive every experience, every thought, every feelings, every moods, emotions, perception as fleeting. Indeed, they are. They are passing clouds. But the perception of your center remains unchanging, unmovable. Like a spacious stillness that is the container of everything we perceive. Allowing the sound to take me deeper into the present moment. Slowly, slowly starting to feel the body again. And gently opening your eyes when you're ready. That was a beautiful sitting. You guys went very deep, very fast. I felt like I didn't want to play the little bell at the end. It's like, no, let them be there. Could have stayed another hour, right? Okay. So let's open the space for some sharing if there is any. Yeah, Maria.
There was a moment I was lost in thoughts,
Mhm.
and then as I realized it, I thought, okay, what a waste of time. And I really was very grateful to come back to just be.
Yes.
This was a very, yes, a very grateful moment. I I have the decision to
Yes.
waste my time or not.
Wonderful. That's exactly it. It's so simple, no? It's such a little moment, but it's so empowering, you know, to feel that, wow, I can choose. Suddenly I have a choice. I am responsible for this moment. Do I want to be here? Or do I want to just, as you said, waste my time thinking all kind of things that they don't need to be thought about in this moment, right? Beautiful. Yeah, that's freedom. And that's a beautiful
Thank
sense of, oh, I'm so happy I can be free when I want. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, that's how it is. Rafa.
Mm, two important experience. One experience was about taking contact with my belly, with the heart center, being like a mountain.
Yes.
It was a very important experience of be strong
Yeah.
and to love.
Mhm.
And about be strong, I was sensing how is it difficult for me as woman to go in this strong. And this is not strong like this, not
Right. Right.
that's what a man's are doing, but to be strong with the presence.
Mhm.
And I was sensing it's not just about my childhood and about my history, but about all being a woman in this society. And how much courage or no decision is important to, and how easy always is to go and to be strong. And interesting was that if I am in this strong, is a new kind of love, not a new kind, but I'm feeling love like connection, but this time it was tasting the quality of love like a presence.
Yes.
And it was clear that this mountains is also alive, and there are people are living there, and are lakes, and there are and uh, and it's also quality of being alive with the present, not with doing a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And that,
Yes.
and it was coming the bell. It was also when I say, "Oh, that's good." Then it was coming the bell, and it was I was accepting also how my truths are changing.
Mhm.
What before for me something was true, now it's
Mhm.
not true anymore.
Yeah.
And it's so it's okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's uh,
Beautiful said. Yeah. Those are our relative truths that comes and goes, and that's true. They change. And like every experience, maybe they don't change every day. Maybe it takes a few months, or maybe it takes a few years, but they also change, like our belief system, for example, changes. Because to believe means you believe in something that you cannot quite prove. Now, that's what believe means.
yeah.
Or it's not your experience, but somehow you came to a conclusion and you have a belief. So beliefs also, of course, they will change in time. As we mature, we'll have less and less beliefs and more experiences, that are, then I can say, well, I don't believe this thing is my experience, for example. I'm not saying it's your case, but yeah. So we get rooted more and more in our center, in our own truth through experience. And yes, it's true that you can perceive, like, I feel like in a moving mountain, I feel the stillness and the solidity of this rooted, grounded mass. But at the same time, there's a lot of happening within, no? There are people going to the lake on the mountain, and people going skiing or going climbing the mountain, whatever. All different experiences are happening on this big mountain. It's beautiful, it's alive. And all these people, all these experiences, the one going to the lake, the one going to the mountain, the one climbing, they will disappear at a certain point. Like they appeared, they were there, and then they disappeared. But the mountain remains, right? So that is beautiful to witness that too. The mountain is your own presence. Within this mountain, all kind of experiences happen, people coming and going. But the mountain remains unmovable. But there is movement within the mountain. But the mountain doesn't move. That's a good image. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. And yes, you might feel love from that space too. But suddenly it's a love that has a strength. It has a center, because it has a center. It's not a love that comes from need, because, oh, wow, when you don't perceive your center, you don't know where it is, you don't know where you are, you might move into a love that is actually a need. Because, well, I don't know who I am, tell me who I am, love me so that I feel myself. That's okay. But what you feel in meditation, it's a different kind of love. It's a love that comes from a center, which is very solid and strong. And it's an overflowing of that. Then, you know, that's a beautiful, different kind of love that has a strength in it, an unmovable strength of the mountain. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Rafa. And it was nice seeing you in Mandali, even though for half an hour, Rafa came by. She was touring with her boyfriend through northern Italy and then Europe. And they came by Mandali because she wanted to show him Mandali. So, and we met almost by chance because I came out of my room and she was at the reception. I was like, what are you doing here? So we had tea together and a nice chit chat. Yeah, beautiful to meet in the world. Yeah, what else wants to be shared? Yeah, Petra.
Yeah. Today you said something important to me.
Good.
And it's about finding the point that is not moving inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before I used to practice this with imagining, come si dice in inglese livella d'acqua?
Oh, a level. I think is level, like what a carpenter uses to see if things are straight or not. Yeah, I think it's
When
called a
you have
level.
you have the small cycle and then you have to put it right in the middle.
Yeah, there is water inside and you want to make sure the bubble is in the middle, right?
The bubble must be in the
it's a
middle.
level.
Before I used to practice that, like imagining this thing in my head, and I must put the bubble in the center.
That's nice. That's a nice image. I like that too.
Yeah. And this was giving me actually it had the same effect like what you said before, to find the point that is not moving but inside the center. It's a little bit difficult for me to find it somewhere down there because it's moving with the breath.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's a very useful thing. Today you are full of wisdom.
You too. I love that image of the level. But you can also imagine the movement that is, of the breath. It's making the center expand and contract.
Yeah.
So the movement is like that, but the center doesn't move. It's always in the same place.
I was trying to do this today and it was successful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah.
And actually, Rafa, I'm referring to what Rafa mentioned, should be easier for a woman to feel her belly, actually, because that's where usually women are more connected with their belly than men. First of all, you have the potential to give birth. So it's like really a center of life in every sense. It's also a center that can create life. I mean, that's mind-blowing. Caroline has something about that. It's just a mind-blowing experience. And so in a way, for women, it's like reconnecting with that feminine power also, like the womanhood, the power of womanhood is in the belly too. For men, very important too, because the image of the man, like we have in the West, for example, I often say it's like a triangle like this, with the base is the point though. So the shoulders are wide and strong on top, so it's a triangle like this. A lot of mind happening. Yeah, so the top of the triangle is wider. And the base is very weak because it's just it's a triangle resting on its point. In the East, they have the image of the man like a triangle this way, where the base, it's down and the tip of the triangle is on top. So that's the image to carry because that's how it is. That's the mountain. Yeah, so the top is the top of the mountain where we receive uplifting energy from the sky, but we are so grounded underneath, strong. And that's the image you want to carry inside of you, like also as a man and as a woman. And that gives a nice sense of solidity, Also, anytime there is something that around you in the world that is like making you spin a little bit, you can go back to this feeling of, wait, where is my belly? And feel the mountain and feel the center that is not moving in the belly and ground yourself. It's really helpful also in situations that can be a little bit challenging, And of course, in meditation all the time. Yeah. So a woman that is pregnant, for example, will have naturally this sense of, you can't miss it, of the belly. It's like, there's so much going on in there. There's life throbbing, So Carolyn can tell us a little more about that probably. How is it, Carolyn? How is it going?
Okay, hello everybody.
Hello.
I will try to express myself in English. It's not easy because it's not my language, but I'm fine and I feel my baby every day growing. I have a big
Watermelon?
A big melon.
Yes.
Okay, and I understand what you said about the force that a woman can find inside her, and because when you become a mother, you are not anymore the daughter of your mother, and you became responsible, and this responsibility changed all your life.
Yes.
And you need to find different source, and so I understand what you said, and I agree. And yes.
I love that.
I would like to express a lot of about pregnancy, but
It's okay.
I don't have the vocabulary to explain that.
Okay, don't worry.
Thank you to give me the possibility to speak to all the people.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you to you also.
Yes. I love what Caroline said. You're no longer the daughter of your mother. That's amazing, no? Because that's how you perceive yourself for many years, and then suddenly it's like, wait a second, I am the mother now. That's an immediate jump, no? It's a quantum leap. You're the grown-up.
Yes.
Beautiful, exactly. Yeah. I never considered that. It's a beautiful thing. Immediate growth, immediate responsibility too. Yeah. I remember a friend of mine, he became father quite, I think he was almost 50 at that point. And we spent many years together by you know, in our 30s, especially, we lived together and we created a beautiful community together. We were always doing things, project but I remember what he told me, you know, when I called him up, I said, how is it to be a father? I said, wow, Shastra, it's amazing. I can't, if sometime I had like a thought of, wow, what shall I really do in this life? What is my mission? Or am I contributing in any way? Or I'm uncertain what to do. All that is gone. He said, there is only one thing clear that is just taking the inner space completely of all those thoughts and doubt and hesitation. Is like, I have to provide for this human being that just came into the world. I mean, this is my priority. This is suddenly all my energy is there, focused there. And I was like, wow, that's also something I never considered because I was never a father. So it's like, there's nothing, everything just went away and there's only one thing that matters. I have to provide and take care for this being. That's what it's like to be a father. I was like, I see that. I can imagine. It's not my experience, but it's beautiful, isn't it? I like the way he expressed it so clearly. It's like everything else fell apart. There's nothing else. Priority is clear, you know. And I think it's like that for quite a few years until they are independent. Yeah. So yeah, big responsibility. Yeah. I take my hat off. Chapeau to the people that are taking that path of big responsibility, yeah, to be parents. If somebody didn't do that, we wouldn't be here. That's for sure. So thank you to all our parents and grandparents and to all our ancestors. And we're doing something new here. Well, it's not new, but let's say it's not what most of the people do. And what we're doing is we are also trying to give birth to ourselves. So we are the parents and we are the child. Yeah. So we really work through this birth, you know, and there is pain sometimes, and other times it's just this feeling of elation, joy. It's all mixed in. And we work through, you know, and clarity to this being that wants to be born. Come to the light completely. Yeah. This is a beautiful thing that we're doing. Rafa, did you want to say something? I saw you raise your hand for a moment.
One of the sentence of psychotherapists who I really love is Irvi Yalom, is a very important moment in our life is that we have to accept that we will never get anymore the parents that we should have liked to get. That's a very difficult moment. That's a very...
We would have liked, yeah.
But at this moment, we can decide to be our own parents.
Yes.
And I love it.
Yes, exactly. Yes, because that's true. There is a time when you know, maybe you process certain things, the memories that maybe some traumas or certain, oh, I wish, you know, my parents were like this or like that, you know, and there is a time for that. It's okay. You know, you process that. And then it comes a point where you just accept your physical parents too, just as they are. And at that point, at least my experience, when you just let go of all that, you don't want them to be any different than what they are, because suddenly you realize, okay, I am my own person and I'm independent and I am responsible for my life. And it's nothing to do with the past at this point, because I am able to take that responsibility. Then you let them be just what they are, you accept them for what they are. And there is just a sense of gratefulness. And you just say, thank you for, you know, be the doorway to take me into this world. But there's nothing else that I want from you, you know, and I don't wish that you were different. And it's like, okay, I do my own work. And as you said, I'm my own father or my own mother now. And that's freedom again, you know, because we take responsibility, you know, like we were saying, responsibility brings freedom. Yeah, very true. We are our own parents now. And we can make them as we want, as fits best. The perfect parents, it's you. You are the perfect father and the perfect mother that you always wanted to have. Well, there it is, you have it. Beautiful. Okay, well, I think it's time to close our session here on these beautiful thoughts, beautiful understandings. Very nice to see you guys again. And inshallah, we'll see each other next Friday too. Yes. Let me see. I like to unmute you all, or you unmute yourself. Because I can't unmute you with this new version of Zoom.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all. Love and hug.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Namaste. Kisses and hugs. Ciao, ciao. See you next Friday.
Thank you.
Love you.